Hello, everyone, and welcome back to some more Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes news. Sorry for the bit of delay, and if you're wondering why I'm playing Conquest music in the background, the reason why is because for some reason, Alex, when I play other music from other games, they get copyrighted, but this song doesn't for some reason.
Well, then I say let's stick with this. It's still a good one, and fuck copyright.
Yeah, well, I've been dealing with that the past few days, so I'm just glad that with this I don't have to
Yeah.
deal with that. And Alex, after this, we'll have to talk about this because the music has something related that's going to be going on in.
Oh, I think I know what this is.
Mhm. I'm gonna
Can't
get into
wait.
that off camera though.
Can't wait.
So recently, apparently, okay, why isn't this loading? There we go. So 100 Heroes recently was this happened before Christmas. Apparently that
Ooh,
they
bug fixes.
Yep, there's apparently working on the bug. This basically says that the game is overall mostly finished, and they're now mostly just going over like bug fixing stuff for the game.
That is nice because it's good to hear that number one, they're looking into these bugs and giving a good few months to actually work through them after after doing some testing.
Mm-hmm.
But also that yeah, everything else seems to be mostly done. There isn't a lot more that needs to be like taken care of from what it looks like if they're finishing this up because they're fixing up a mostly completed game, which is good.
Yeah, and that means that when we play this game at launch, we won't have to deal with like a very buggy, unplayable version of the game, which I'm very glad of hearing.
I mean, shit, you've had to deal with enough AAA titles, so it's good to take a break from that once in a while.
Mm-hmm. So let's see. Chronicle 100 Heroes enters the bug fixing stage of development. Rabbit and Bear Studios confirmed in the final Steam development log of 2023, co-directors and co-producers Yoshitaka Murayama and Osuma Komoto, sorry if I butchered those names, share some insights into the process. Murayama went into how much work is required to do bug fixing for Chronicle 100 Heroes. The biography of the game contains a huge number of characters, which, yeah, we kind of figured, along
It
with
is called that.
along with their own scenario settings. The hub town features multiple facilities that each bring their own issues. Finally, the middle of the story allows open progression, which affects how the story plays out. And that part I'm very interested in seeing, like when they say like how's the progression gonna feel like? Like I'm expecting this to be a very linear game, but I'm interested in that sense that they said right there, like how the story plays out. I'm assuming that they're gonna like do like that. There's this game will probably have multiple endings, but I'm not really expecting there to be like multiple diverging paths, just different endings, like a good, bad, and like secret ending type of thing for this game.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm assuming, where it's like the simple good ending, the fuck this is bad, like this is the evil ending playthrough, or just like the we fucking lost play ending, and then the secret good ending of like, hey, you did all the shit, you got all 100 heroes, good for you,
Mm-hmm.
man, you did it.
Spoiler alert: that's gonna be one of my hopes for when we make that five
That we
hopes video.
that we can get all 100 heroes.
Yeah, I want to see if it's possible to get all 100 in a single playthrough.
Honestly, it'd be kind of crazy. I would have to. I really did assume that it'd be, um, that you would be able to get like either one or another based on like a quest. But honestly, with the way it's looking like, it very well could just be you can get all 100.
Mm-hmm. But I want to see if all 100 are viable, not just through like battle, but through like town like building too.
Well, I feel like they're gonna be good at either one or another. Some might be a
Mm-hmm.
decent middle ground, because I definitely think that like the builders might not be the best fighters. They probably aren't the best generals, that's for sure. So, like, hey, kind of see how it happens, but they've all got to be good at something. If there's somebody that's like bumfuck awful, then hey, you got 99 other people to work with, so
Yeah.
I think it's okay. I think it's
So
fine.
with all these factors in play, bug reports can be long. However, Murayama does say that the psychological damage of the reports is better than his time working on Suikoden, which this game is apparently a spiritual successor to. Which these were basically games that were in this style, like gameplay wise, back on the PlayStation 2. So that's why they're making like a spiritual successor to Suikoden.
I gotcha.
when the reports were handwritten that although the focus of the update was bug fixing, Komoto did share some new screenshots detailing a new snowy village named Skris Village. The second screenshot showed a mysterious icy plateau featuring the character Noah in a block of ice. As we can see right here, this is the screenshot they shared right here.
I see.
Mhm.
Skris Village.
And
I do like they're showing that you can actually be on the overworld and like different actually they've shown it in a few places, but it's nice to see it in like more than just those 3 places that they had shown with like I believe Noah's hometown, and then the other 2 characters with like what I'm assuming is their starting areas.
Sane and Marissa.
Exactly, with like their 2 starting areas, and then just the main like My Castle hub.
Mm-hmm.
I'll call it either My Castle, Monastery. I won't call it Somniel. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
It's too specific.
I'm pretty sure we'll be able to name. It's called the headquarters, and I'm pretty sure we'll be able to name it because it's gonna be our base of operations.
I can't wait to give it the stupidest fucking name known to man.
And here's the screenshot they show Noah in a
he's
block of ice.
frozen as shit.
Yeah.
That doesn't look like a battle thing.
The team also apologized for a lack of updates due to logistical issues related to individual platforms, which this is understandable because this game is coming to a lot of game consoles when it launches.
I mean, yeah, honestly, so they gotta work that shit out.
Yeah, and they have to make sure that these bugs aren't just working on are fixed on the PC, but for 2 PlayStation systems, 2 Xbox consoles, and the Nintendo Switch. And that one, I'm very much hoping to see how well it will run on Switch.
Yeah, you have a lot of consoles to individually work bugs out on, because a bug that fucking could appear on Switch might not appear on PC or PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, this is the case with Oh, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
This is like the case with I know this is a little bit off topic, but this is the case in Skyrim where you can encounter a bug on the PlayStation 4 version, but that bug won't appear in the Xbox One version, and vice versa.
Yeah, so they gotta bug test all of those, and that can definitely be a pain in the ass when you have this many of them, like this many different consoles to actually work through.
Mm-hmm. This is despite a recent new trailer showing off a range of features of the game. I'm pretty sure this trailer is just the trailer that we saw in the last update video. I mean, I opened the link, but I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, this is the same video, so we don't need to rewatch it. Let's see. The team has promised regular updates again in the new year. The next update is for January 10th, 2024, followed by updates on the last Wednesday of each month as they have done in the past. So now we know how these updates are going to work going forward. So that means the next update will be on January 10th, which I believe is Tuesday of this month or this week. That's Wednesday.
April 23rd?
Yeah, the game will release on April 23rd, and we're going to get another update about this game on January 10th, and then any updates about the game.
That will be a Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah. No. January 10th is a Wednesday, apparently.
Oh, January 10th. Yeah, that is a Wednesday.
And then every Wednesday for each month, they'll do regular updates. So that means the next updates for this game will be January 10th, and then the next update for that will be the last day of January, because January 31st is actually on a Wednesday as well.
I see, yeah.
So now at least we now know. So, I'm not gonna say too much, Alex, but obviously we know that we might be a little bit late with these update videos because, depending on how your work schedule is, we might not be able to cover these.
I mean, God, yeah, but it should be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, hopefully, maybe.
And yeah, as you know, the last bit is just telling you when the game releases and what consoles it's coming to. So now that's not the only news we have to cover, because this news is a little bit old because it's released back in December 21st, so a few days before Christmas. But we have another video. We have another We have another news topic to go over, because the game just recently released its age rating, and it's rated E10 plus actually, and PEGI 12 for the European countries. And
I see.
I'm very surprised this game was rated E10 plus. I was expecting at least a T rating at least.
Well, I guess that they might have some more adult themes, but it very well might be just what's the word for it? Kind of less of the dialogue and more so like the subtext, maybe stuff like that,
Hmm.
where it's easier to get away with a lower rating. Either that or it's a dumb baby game, but I doubt that.
I don't think so. This seems to be a very AAA indie released game from what I've seen, from what we've seen so far.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. So I would like to go with option one. There won't be any fucks, maybe a damn, a darn, a goddammit, maybe. But nothing past that.
Yeah. Now they haven't actually revealed what the description is. So in case you don't know, on the back of the box, whenever you see like an ESRB rating, they usually say like violence, like blood, suggestive themes, language, stuff like that. That hasn't been released yet, so I'm very interested in seeing what they say in these games, and to seeing what the description they will get for this game being an E10 plus game. I'm expecting violence, obviously, but or like
Yeah.
maybe cartoon or child violence, maybe at least.
Yeah.
And yeah, this basically just like tells like more of the story. Chronicle 100 heroes occurs in Alaran, a continent comprised of numerous nations with a mystical rune lenses abound. The Galdean Empire relentlessly seeks to collect an artifact that will amplify the efficiency of their runes' magic power to expand magical dominance. Amidst this effort, Noah from a remote village meets Sane Kessling, a young Imperial officer, and the duo ends up having to reevaluate the morality after continuous unparalleled tragedy pushes them forward. I'm very interested in seeing like how Noah and Sane are gonna meet Marissa, obviously, because they've said this in the last like video, but they seem to mainly be focusing mostly on Noah and Sane and not so much on Marissa. So I'm very interested in seeing like how Marissa's going to interact with Noah and Sane through the story from what we've
I
seen so far.
do I do hope that she's kind of like, because Noah is the protagonist and it feels like Sane is going to be like a secondary protagonist, and it feels like, from especially from like how a lot of the advertisement has gone, that Marissa would also be like the other secondary protagonist, where it's kind of like the two main supporting characters to back up Noah, and will appear in like all the cutscenes, and like it'd be the dialogue that they would have together, like, oh, what's this?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know either, let's check it out.
Very fitting. The way that they're kind of setting this up, it makes it. I know this kind of may seem a little bit weird, but it reminds me of Fire Emblem Awakening. How you had Chrom, who's the main protagonist, Robin, who was the secondary protagonist, or like a partner to the main character, and then
I feel
Lucina,
that.
who was also like a secondary protagonist, or like a third protagonist to a certain
Yeah,
degree.
it. Well, yeah, she was also a secondary protagonist. Though I will say that at times, like, it definitely Awakening feels like a bit different, only because a lot of times you have to wonder, like, okay, who is like the main protagonist in this case? Like, is it Crom or is it like the My Avatar character Robin? And
And
then
like,
in the later games, it definitely gets like a lot, because like Crom is the traditional like Lord character, and then Robin is like the My Avatar. Like, it's whatchamacallit, it's the Chris situation,
yeah,
and to a lesser degree the Mark situation in FE7 and stuff like that, where it's like they're technically a supporting character, in at least in the lore of the game, but it's played whereas you are like kind of taking the place of that character, so therefore you would be the main character. But in the actual like story, you're kind of not. So you do sort of have to wonder then, like, who would technically be like the main protagonist? Unless you just have two main protagonists.
mm-hmm.
Though once you hit, um, obviously, Fates, um, skip Chaos Valentia, because that's a remake of Gaiden. There are no My Avatar characters,
Mm-hmm.
but also Three Houses, Three Hopes, and Engage, then it's basically becomes a moot point, because all of the lords in those games become the secondary protagonists and just supporting protagonists, because the My Avatar is essentially the lord as well as the main protagonist.
I would
So,
say for Fates that it's definitely done to an excessive degree. Though in Three
oh, very much
Houses,
so.
Three Hopes, and engage. I feel like even though that you are the main character, it feels like that the in Three Houses and Three Hopes, you were not only were you the main protagonist, but the person or side you picked in the Three Houses and Three Hopes games, they were also. So like if you pick Dimitri, he would also be a main protagonist for that game, and Three Hopes as well.
That is true. That is correct.
Whereas
Only because
Engage,
it's
it feels like a
well,
mixture of of
there
three.
isn't really any one supporting lord to say like, oh hey, like it's drawn out between four of them, and they each get like 3 to 4 chapters of like real screen time before they then get kind of pushed into the background, and it's like they are then part of the general peanut gallery.
Mm-hmm.
At least with the four main lords. So that would be Alfred, Diamant, Tamara, and Ivy.
Mm-hmm. So
Whereas the secondary lords, after their chapter, you don't see hide nor hair of them.
yeah,
Which is
unfortunately.
crazy. Which is really funny because half the time, their younger siblings tend to turn out better.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So I'm from what I'm seeing, it seems that Noah and Saint are going to be main protagonists, and Marissa I'm basically expecting to be secondary protagonist. If you want to know what I really think, I feel like Noah and Saint are going to be like Crom and Robin, and Marissa's going to be like the Lucina. She's barely going to get any screen time and only come into like say like important like story bits.
I guess so. And that does make me sad because she seems like, granted, she definitely seems like it'll be less of the emotional aspect of it, like the moral standing aspect of it, because her morals aren't necessarily being tested, at least from what I can assume, as like the guardian of the ruins, who's like, I'm here to guard the ruins. Unless the ruins like turn out to be fuck ass evil and like, hey, they kill people, in which case it's even more of a reason to guard the ruins because hey, nobody should be touching this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no like moral questioning when it comes to that. At least like
From what we've
as
seen
a
so far.
general statement. Yeah, like just from everything we've seen, there's nothing that could really be considered like a moral questioning. Whereas with both Noah and Sane, Sane comes from the evil empire that is like our main antagonist in this. Like they are the force, like the unstoppable force that we are fighting against this entire time. At least like how all of the trailers are showing it. This is the main enemy that like 80% at least of our fights are going to be against. So to have him come from there means that he has to have some sort of like moral questioning of like, is it really right to be here? And the answer he comes to is most likely going to be no. Though he'll probably still have love for his country, so on and so forth. That tends to be what happens when it comes to these like double-crossing characters, but like with a moral backbone.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm doing this for morality rather than just for my own personal gain.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Noah most likely will see, hey, even like especially meeting Sane and then like going like to spend more and more time with him, coming from this empire, and then having other people also from this empire who will be working with him. It's like these are also people just like me and just like everybody else that I'm working with. So I still need to beat this empire and like not let them have these fucking relics that could like destroy the world. I need to remember that these people are also people, and this is a war, and these people are going to get hurt. Like everything that I do is going to be because of that. So with both of them, you definitely have a good setup for moral gray, just having character arcs for them through just shifts in morality and learning more about the world. Whereas Marissa, you likely won't, which kind of sucks and does make it where it's more of a supporting protagonist, like secondary protagonist kind of deal, whereas those two will have more of a Crom and Robin situation. I do kind of wish that she would probably have a bigger role, but it feels like a lot of that is going to be tied more into just the main core like plot story of it rather than the morality, and more so of like this is like the exposition for the ruins and like this is giving more context into this situation. I don't want her to be an exposition bot, but
Yeah.
I have a bad feeling.
Yeah, like what I'm seeing is that Noah and Sam are obviously gonna be the main protagonists, and then like Marissa's like gonna come in to like basically like tell like basically like give like background to like specific areas of the game where and then she's gonna like have her own arc, and I'm really hoping that it's not gonna be like that. I'm praying it's not gonna be like that because it feels like that she's only gonna be coming into like these specific scenes where information needs to be given, and Sane and Noah can't figure it out themselves because the writers decided, you know what, let's give Marissa some screen time. She hasn't been around for a while.
Yeah.
And one thing I am going to plan on is that when we get more information to go off of, I'm actually going to try and predict the story for this game. So that's like I'm not, yeah, I'm gonna do that like probably like basically maybe like a week or two before the game releases, along with our Five Hopes videos.
Mm-hmm.
So that yeah, and I'm actually very much looking forward. I've already got like I feel like not, I'm talking like the entire story, like not just like the opening when I say that.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So yeah, everyone, that's all the news we have. I mean, we got to see like some new screenshots, know that they're working on bug fixes, know how their updates are going to be going forward. So yeah, we'll definitely be covering the January 10th and the updates that follow. And we got to know the ESRB rating for this game, which definitely surprised me, though we don't know the description of it just yet. And you know, we basically just gave our thoughts on what we're expecting from this game so far. And yeah, that's basically all we have to report on. So thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. We have more news to talk about for Unit Chronicle 100 Heroes. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.